Well, good morning, YouTube world. Thought I'd bring you along with me this morning and my morning commute. I'm going to do it a little differently today. Normally I would commute in here to the yacht club and then go out and do my errands by road, but we've got a special event going on this weekend at the yacht club, which means that they will make it maximally inconvenient for members that aren't participating. And anyway, I just prefer to avoid the place until it's over. But the other thing noticeable this morning is a generally profound silence that happens not uncommonly in the dog days of July and August. And probably hard to see in the frame right now until we get closer, but that silence is broken by the boat passing me. But silence is because the roadway across the harbor and the drawbridge is currently closed. So this is a reliable upper 80-degree temperature event. Brief commercial pause to let the launch pass and throw as big a wake as he can. Anyway, reliably in the summer months when the temperatures break into the upper 80s and 90s, our rotating swing bridge across the harbor essentially breaks down. It's usually because the expansion joints aren't able to handle the amount of temperature expansion required at those temperatures. But I don't know if this is a national, state, or local ruling, but since the waterway was here first, if the bridge fails, it's generally required to fail such that it allows marine traffic and not vehicle traffic to pass. Now I strongly suspect that's entirely open to interpretation of the local authorities. And future me from the editing desk. So the Code of Federal Regulations regarding drawbridge operations, is found in Title 33, Subchapter J, Part 117. And this is not a clear-cut answer to the question of whether the federal law requires the drawbridge remain open to marine traffic, but I will say that reading through this, most of the permission structure regarding a roadway that crosses a navigable waterway seems to lean toward the navigable waterway being the assumed open position in any kind of event or failure. There are obviously exceptions to that, and as I mentioned, it's obviously open to local interpretation. We're living in a time when unelected government officials tend to shoot from the hip. But I digress. In general, the waterway priority does seem to be the marine traffic side, so it does seem to be correct if your local drawbridge is going to break, that it somehow be broken and kept broken in the open to boats position. Wouldn't like to count on that in order to be able to get home at the end of the day, in order to be able to get out from my mooring to the open water. But that does seem to be the general indication that I read going through this federal regulation code. Secretary of Transportation seems to be the ultimate authority, with the local Coast Guard commander being the on-site authority. So aside from short-term local failures, which is probably what we're seeing out here right now at these temperatures, I suspect that where you are in the U.S., it's probably similar, that The bridge is supposed to let the boats through, make the cars go the long way around. Whether that happens or not, well, it's anybody's guess, but I'm fortunate here that I have two ways to commute and avoid the traffic snarl. We're fortunate here that our local harbor authority, also known as my brother, the harbor master, is a trained lawyer, and so one summer when the bridge was throwing fits and the local highway department decided they'd had enough of it and they would just foist it off on the boating population, they told my brother he was going to be in charge of the bridge from now on, and he said, okay, fine, I'll take the bridge. And they said, really? Because it needs a lot of work. And he said, no, it doesn't. I'll just open it to boat traffic in, say, April and close it to boat traffic in maybe December, and the cars can drive around all summer. The highway department didn't like that plan, so they retained ownership of the bridge and still are responsible for fixing it. Anyway, this is all a long-winded way of explaining why I have a severe allergy to placing charis on the upland side of any mechanical drawbridge. The darn things just seem to fail all the time, and if you're fortunate, as in this case, they fail so that you can get your boat out. If you're not fortunate, there's very little you can do about it other than continue to exist with your boat stuck behind the bridge. Sort of the nautical equivalent of going to jail, I think. Anyway, the upside to the drawbridge being closed to vehicle traffic is no vehicle noise. Generally gets quite loud along this strip of road. There being absolutely no chance of a radar trap or a police patrol catching anyone, it's kind of used as the local loud exhaust drag strip. Unless, of course, it's closed, as it is today. So, anyway, being relatively sure, aside from the brouhaha that would be involved in getting my truck out of the yacht club parking lot, that there's a great traffic kerfluffle in the village with people trying to figure out what to do now. They can't drive across. A pretty enjoyable commute coming into the office this way. Anyway, it's August. I don't air condition the office. It's going to be a short day. I suspect the southwest breeze will be filling in an hour or so, and I suspect Charis will be filing out with that southwest breeze in an hour or so, headed someplace cooler, breezier, and quieter for the weekend. So there you have it. Build bridges if you like, but if they break, make sure they're open so I can get my boat out. We'll see you next week.